All right, we're live. Welcome to Unethical Hoops with Drago and Bulletproof. Today we're talking about the NBA Finals, and we're going to talk a bit about the World Cup as well. Um, so last time we were here, we talked about Carl Anthony Towns. We talked about um, how he'd be impacting the finals. That was before the finals, and he did. And um, the Knicks are up now, 3. Um, so, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I think all of these games has been exceptionally close. I think it's probably I saw a stat that this is the closest four games of a finals ever, which is right in line with my viewing. I mean, every game has been super excited. It's been come down to the last few possessions. Clutch mistakes by the Spurs have really cost them in the 2 1 point games. So I think when a series is 3-1, we tend to think of it as just not close. But like we're talking about two plays going the other way, and two pretty massive mistakes by the Spurs even, and the series is 3-1 Spurs way instead of 3-1 the Knicks way, which I just kind of feel. I think it illustrates how close of a game basketball is. That like a 48-minute game can come down to 10 seconds, and has done it in every game of these finals. So I think that's my main takeaway is that this has been amazing basketball. It's been super close and it's been really entertaining. And I do kind of hope the Spurs can keep this alive because if this goes 6 or 7, this might be talked about as one of the best finals ever, maybe if not the best, because it's been that so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the closest we've seen in terms of how close the games are, especially at the end. It comes down to the wire every time. We've seen that in even the one that ended with a bit of a distance was close until the end. So, I agree with you there that every game needed closing. And actually, that brings us to something that I think is we've talked about. I've talked about it in the Hall of Fame chat with Football Breakdown. Shout out to Football Breakdown about Jalen Brunson. Like, yeah, he's not efficient compared to his usual self, but he's been one hell of a closer. So, in games that close, can you really say that they're winning in spite of him and not because of him?
I don't think you can say that. I think there's this age old adage that the best player is always the best player because he's the one that creates space for the other guys, even if he shoots badly, like the intention he draws. And I do think that's still the case here. Like even when he's not shooting like shooting good, the Spurs have given attention to him, and he has created opportunities for the other guys and kept them in games. I will also say this has been a very defensive series so far.
Yes,
So
that's
it's
also
been
my
up a
point.
lot this whole series.
That's also another point. I think if you're shooting near, like close to the percentage of the teams, both teams in the series, then you're not really doing that bad, regardless of percentage. Because the first text that started this argument was he said there is no context in which I think whatever percentage it is that he mentioned is excusable. I said yes, there is. If both teams are shooting the same percentage as this player, then yes, that context makes the percentage not detrimental. Like it becomes now it becomes just about how you played, how you got your points, how you executed in certain times of the game. But if your team is shooting like 39% and the other team is shooting like 37% and you're shooting 38%, can we really say that okay, 38 is just bad? Any game you shoot 38 is
I
bad.
don't think you can. I agree with you. I think like it's also the defense you're going against. If you're going against a Spurs defense where you should shoot 39%, but all the other 28 teams point guards shoot 35 to 30%, then you're the best. It's like it's all relative. And I know Shea maybe was a little bit more. I don't even know how to say it, but like Shea did also struggle against the Spurs defense, and
Hmm.
Shea did also have like the Thunder as a whole struggle against the Spurs defense. The
Yes.
Wolves, like they've been holding teams like 15 points per 100 under their regular season scoring this playoffs when Wemby's on the floor. That's
And
an
the Knicks are not
absolute
an exception. It's not just Jalen Brunson, it's the whole Knicks team.
yeah.
So
I
the
mean,
Knicks are also struggling. They're just winning, but they're still struggling.
yeah, they're playing really good defense, and I think that's something we'll get into about how they're making Cat and Brunson viable on defense. But I also think that it's just that they, how do I say it? I mean, like we said, all these games have been close, and when you get like, I try to not be this in my emotions feelings guy, but I feel like everyone when they're watching these games feel like the Knicks are the better team down the stretch, just because they execute better. A large part of that is Brunson just getting them decent looks every time instead of it being Stephon Castle having to dribble and or Wemby having to create a shot or they have to run Fox pick and roll. Like I feel like it gives them like kind of a baseline for how they can attack every time. And I do think, and he's just been really good in the fourth quarters, and that's been what changed the series. Like this could, if he was just if he was 1% worse in the fourth quarters, this is a 3-1 Spurs series.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's the point in games that are very like low percentage shooting. You need the creators even more because you cannot just say, okay, the law of averages will even itself out if we attempt more shots. You cannot get open looks anyway. So you need the creators. This is where the shot creators become super important because if you're shooting 38%, the reason you're shooting 38% makes you need players who can at least maintain that, or else you drop way below even that. You'll shoot like 32% if you don't have any creators. So I think like that makes him even more important. The fact that they are inefficient makes his creation in the fourth even more important because now you have someone that you can at least rely on to get a shot up that has a good reproducible chance of going in. So if it doesn't go in this time, it's going to go in the next time, hopefully. So you have a shot like that as opposed to the Spurs who were up 29 and all they could do is chuck up threes.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'm usually very much against the narrative of a team just saying that teams just chuck up threes. A lot of that is also because in the 80s, like that what the people are comparing it to is like the 90s and 80s, where what they did was just chuck up mid-range jump. Like a lot of the threes you see
No,
are just
no, that's not what I'm talking about.
yeah, and I know. And what I'm saying is like in this case, in the second half of game four, that is what happened. Like I am not like, yes, what happened in game four was that what do you call it? The Spurs once settled for freeze. They didn't try to really get into the paint that much. And the Knicks also made them do it. Like I do think that is what happened in the fourth quarter. The Knicks, not the game four in the second half is that the Spurs didn't get freeze, and the Knicks couldn't get anything but freeze, and the Knicks made a comeback.
Yes, I felt like the Spurs were trying to create the best shot available every time, and the Spurs were just trying to play basketball. Like, okay, if we shoot enough threes, maybe enough of them will go in to preserve the lead, and that did not happen.
But like the
So
problem is, it wasn't good freeze. It was like
yeah,
tough to
just any the
pull up.
Celtic style.
But it's also
Just
you don't want to play. You don't want to really play something with a high degree of variance when you're up 27. That's
that's
just
the point.
a failure of
Yeah.
the basketball of the math in it. Like the outcome you should care about isn't points; it's win percentage. Like how many of these do I win? And it should probably be 99% if you're up 27.
Yeah, that's the point. I think if you're tempting, because if you're a 33% shooting team, for example, from three, the fact that you missed the last two doesn't mean you'll make the next one. It's still 33% every time you're attempting. So you need something that doesn't have that degree of variance, like you said, like something that is, because the higher the percentage, the higher the reproducibility of that shot.
Does it to you? Does it seem like the Spurs seem gassed when we get to the third and fourth quarters?
Gassed? I don't know
Like
if they're gassed. I just think they're lacking the experience needed, and the Aaron Fox has not been what I expected him to be. To be honest, I thought, but by this time he'll be playing better, but he's not. And they're making a lot of. I don't want to say that okay they're taking the finals for granted because that's stupid. Like that's a narrative thing to say. But I mean, I do feel sometimes that they're trying too hard to approach it like, okay, we play our game, we're going to win, and no, it's not working because, and this is what I talked about earlier before the series, and even back as early as January, the Knicks are a championship team. They're not a team you just approach and try to play your game. That's it. No. You can only do this if you're like 2 tiers higher than your opponent and you're like, okay, they are the ones that need to make adjustments, not us. We're the better team. But the Spurs, even if you think they're the better team, it's not that big of a gap to the point that they can just try to, play a random game of we're going to, do what we usually do and
I
hopefully it's
I
gonna
I
work.
do agree, but I do think the Spurs have also. I think they have tried things like they have tried to mix up their coverages, how they handle the Knicks, how they attack the Knicks. I think they've done it with a lot more movement of the ball, like creating him. I feel like it just seems like again, like what we're talking about here is two 1 point games. So it is
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
one
That's
play in each, like just goes different, and this is like it's 1-3 in each game goes
yeah.
different, and this is all flipped.
One
So
turnover goes wrong and
like it's
and
such a small, but it does seem like the Spurs is like it, like the lack of experience does show in a sense, like the game for Mitch Johnson not getting him into like offense. I feel like that shows some inexperience. He's also a young coach, so like also just a young team. Like the Wemby turnover in game two, obviously there's some inexperience there. Them the Fox play, he's obviously not that inexperienced, but still like the Fox play in game three, Wemby missing two free throws. There's a lot of there's a lot of mistakes where you can be like the double late in game four, where you can be like, okay, 2 years from now, they're probably not making that many of these mistakes, is my guess.
yeah, yeah. Like at least the frequency of it because every team makes mistakes. But the frequency of it because you have three players on the court at all times who are 22 or younger, and this is their first playoff run, and they have won every series, so the confirmation bias is there. We haven't done because when you're in the NBA, you win. You don't learn lessons from wins, and this is not just in the NBA. This is like in life in general. As long as you're winning, you're not trying to learn lessons. You'll try to look back, like and say, okay, what I did this right. Let me do this again. So that's like the way people look at things when they are winning. And that to me is it was a double-edged weapon when they're going to the finals. This is a team in their first playoff run and they're already in the finals. So can you really convince a bunch of 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 19-year-olds that they need to change anything while they're in the finals? I don't think so. Like even the coach, I don't know how he can talk to them about these things. So even the Thunder, I talked about it also. They won the championship last year, but they made so many mistakes in their way to that championship. And the fact that they didn't lose is why I was so aggressive in saying they're not going to win this year, even though they are the best team in the league, because they haven't made enough mistakes to look back and learn. You need to fail in order to learn from the mistakes. But if you make mistakes no matter how many mistakes, and you keep winning, you will not look back and learn from these mistakes. Even Shea said it when he lost, like in the press conference. He said, I think now we have to reflect and see why this happened. But the mistakes he made in the series against the Spurs are the same things he probably did last year in the playoffs as well. So it wasn't an exceptionally bad series from him. It was just the same series he had, but he lost this time.
Yeah, but this is also a thing where I've been saying this. It's also a little scary that this team is like led by a 20 year old, a 21-year-old, and 22-year-old. They're making all of these mistakes, and they're
And they're
two,
still very close to winning. Yeah.
two plays away from being up 3-1 in the finals, and they won 61 games. Like, and if they got a little, if they get a little bit of pain for losing this series, I feel like, ooh, that could look real scary next year. Is what I'm trying to say. That could look really fucking scary.
Games makes me feel like even if like the Thunder, they could actually learn from the mistakes as well because they lost the games on very like close game mistakes that they can look back on and say, okay, this could have gone wrong. With the Thunder, 15, so like she's not gonna watch that game. The Spurs have games even if they win the series. They have to look back at the games of how close they were. They lost 3 very close games, including one in which they were up by 29. So it would be very if they win and they took for granted. Still think this the Knicks the teams can win. I said that even before the final structure of the team. I still believe in them as a championship team like last year, that this core has to win a championship. Um, Especially with Cat playing Cat, at least for a few games, even if it's not for the whole series. And OG has been a pleasant surprise as well offensively. I mean, we all know what he can do on the other end, but offensively he's been crazy. So that I mean, OG is probably the difference, not even the Spurs mistake.
Yeah.
Uh, you can just go back and OG is the difference, not the Spurs mistakes.
OG has
So
made
yeah. Oh,
just big play after big play after big play. Like even in game 3 when they
I don't know
lost,
if
he was
it's
making big shots down the stretch to almost.
someone is disconnected.
Okay, while we're waiting for Amir, I'll just talk. Just say that I don't think the series is over by any means. I do think there's a possibility that the Knicks just blow them out, blow the Spurs out in game 5. But I
Sorry,
I
I
was just
think
about to say,
I was
so yeah, like yeah, we just spent a lot of time talking about the Spurs mistakes and what this means for them in a sense. But I also do
no.
think
Did you hear what I said?
I heard what you said. Yeah,
Because
I heard what you said.
no, because I got cut
You,
off and I thought it was you. I was
yeah,
talking
you
about
talked
OG.
about
I
the
said,
Knicks.
in
Yeah, you talked about the
yeah,
Knicks.
I talked about OG being the
Difference maker.
reason and not the Spurs mistakes.
Yeah, I was just also about to say that like he made like down stretching game 4, he made 2 amazing plays, like 2 crazy plays to
Mm-hmm.
win them that game. And he made big shots in game 3 as well. Like he's made plays all series. Like in my opinion, he's the Finals MVP. Not by any clearly amount, but I do think he's the Finals MVP. Just big play after big play. I also
You got
think
3
that
players who can really win it, and it would be this
I mean for my agendas, it would be really good if Jalen Brunson won
3
it,
Finals
so I
MVPs.
can start pushing so I can start pushing that he's better than Isaiah Thomas. Because let's be honest, he's better. Like this Jalen Brunson is better than 1990 or 1980, 89 Isaiah. But damn, Amir.
Why is it always Isaiah Thomas with you?
Because this is my pet peeve of anything that but it's also like you see the resemblance, right? Like a small guard's about to win championship. Maybe everyone like if he wins Finals MVP, everyone's gonna say he's the best player on the team, and because he won a championship as the best player on the team, suddenly he's a top 5 point guard ever. Like that is what happened with Isaiah Thomas in his career. Because he won 2 championships, everyone called him the clear third best point guard ever. So
I don't
like
think anyone calls him the clear third post point guard ever with guys like Jerry West and Oscar Robertson in the
yes,
picture. But
those
like,
people are insane, is what I'm trying to say. There's many people that say it, probably
yeah,
above 50%.
I do think you underrate him crazily though. Like,
I don't
yes,
underrate him. The reason I underrate him is because I only make it about 89 and 90, where he was significantly worse than he was in his prime. And I make it about that because this is why people call him what they call him. It's because he has 2 championships. So like it's on purpose that I refuse to talk about anything other than the 2 years that people are using to elevate him. But
that's
the Detroit Pistons, the bad boy Pistons, are not playing in this series. The New York Knicks are, and I do think they have 3 players that could be Finals MVP. I think all of them play well. I think this is a great example of an ensemble cast winning a championship, where they got 5 starters that are all really, really good basketball players. They got these 3 players are really stepping up. They got guys coming off the bench that has just been crazy how much better they've been this year than last year. That's probably also a credit to Mike Brown. Shout out to him. Great coaching as well. I do think that the one big thing from last year to this year is they can actually play Cat at the 5. And he's been viable for that on defense. And that has been the difference. Because against the Pacers last year, they couldn't. Because having both him and Jalen Brunson on the court was just not tenable when they were the 1 and the 5. So I do think that's been the big difference, is Cat applying himself more on defense, being more locked in, even though he just still fouls way too fucking much. And like he also commits these offensive fouls to just take him out the game, which is also like, if I'm the Spurs, game 5, if I have a challenge where I can put an offensive foul on Cat, I fucking do it. Because those are the minutes where they just blow the Knicks out. When Cat's not on the floor, they're way better than the Knicks.
Yep, and that's why I think Cat is the MVP.
Yeah.
I think he's the most balanced of the 3. Because OG, yes, he's been good, but also you could say that outside of the few very clutch plays, his shots are falling. It's sometimes as simple as that. But Cat is what they're really building the game plan around. That's what value is, because if you have a random 3-point shooter making all of his shots in one series, is he really the MVP? I mean, like, sure, OG's great. I'm not reducing his value to just exceptional shot making, of course. There's a reason he is one of the 3 that I'm talking about. But I still think it's Cat, because Cat is that's what they're actually building the game plan around. And it's working. So I think it's Cat.
I honestly think OG is a little bit of an underrated part of that. I mean, I think it's obvious that OG is probably a better defender than Cat. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah,
I also say that OG plays 4 more minutes per game than Cat, and that is a notable difference. This is because Cat keeps getting himself into foul trouble. So also the minutes he misses is like involuntarily minutes where like they would really need him to play, but he can't. And the other thing is like, yeah, it's great that Cat is a floor spacing 5, which is a really big reason they can keep Wemby so much away from the rim, and a lot of the other things he's done. But also like the fact that OG is a 4 you just can't leave alone either is also a big part of it for them. If they had a non-sports floor-based spacing 4 instead of OG, they would also have been fucked. Which is kind of like, yeah, it's easier to find spacing 4s, but it's still not that easy. especially the
Mhm.
ones that do what OG do on defense with also his supplemental rim protections, his versatility, where he can help them in the pick and roll. So I do think that's probably
Exactly.
why I would say OG.
His strength too. Like he's very strong. You cannot really call him a small lineup four. He's
No,
stronger than most fours in the league. Like legit fours. So yeah, he is a legit four. If you're putting him at the four, he's a legit four. As much as he's a legit three. And also, let's not forget the player that makes it possible to put these two on the front court together, Josh Hart. Um, Josh Hart is. That's what I meant back in January when I said that this is a championship team. When you have a guy like Josh Hart in your team, you can play with the rotation all you want because you can take out Mitchell Robinson and still out rebound the opponent just because you have one of the best rebounding guards ever. And he does make them like he does punish them every time they get distracted in a rebound. I've seen him like
he
Wemby
also has more
alone.
assists than Jalen Brunson, and he's playing like 10 minutes less.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about a play that I remembered. Like it happened like twice in the series so far, at least twice that I've seen. Uh, Wimby's like alone on an island because, of course, they have this crazy spacing. So the Knicks don't really have a player inside when they take the shot. So Wimby feels safe. There's no one to box out, so he's just waiting for the rebound. Josh Hart just slides under his arm and jumps and gets the rebound. It happened like twice or three times that I've noticed, and I'm sure it happened more that I haven't noticed. But the fact that you have a player who can just run inside after the shot is taken and get the offensive rebound frequently is a huge difference maker. Because in a series where both teams are shooting that bad, you need those extra positions. So yeah, I think Josh Hart is also very impactful. Like let's not forget him. So yeah, that's uh, do you have anything else on the Knicks or the Spurs?
I just had a question. Do you think the series is over?
No, I don't think it's over. I mean, it's way too close to be over. There's no way it's over. Like, it could end in game five, but it could also end in game six. And it could go to seven. I mean, anyone who thinks this is over has probably not been watching. Maybe stat watching, but like, come on, this series is way too close.
I agree.
If it
I
ends
think
in
we
game
got
five, it would be like the 07 finals in a way. That would be bad to remember it that way, to be honest. I want it to be remembered as a tough competitive series because that's what we're watching in real time. So I want
I mean,
the
if this
score.
goes seven, if this goes seven, depending on how game seven goes, this would probably go down as the best series we've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, as a final
I don't
series,
think.
in terms of how close, yeah, but I think it lacks the star power. But yeah, I mean, it
I mean,
does.
one of the players on the floor is potentially the best player to ever play.
That's it, though. That's literally it. Like the other nine players on the court are not really people that are
We
looked
don't know
at.
what Dylan Harper is going to be in a couple of years. I wouldn't sell this series short and start
No,
power.
no, I'm not selling it short. I'm just saying the way narratives are
Yeah,
built around series is like
it's not the 2016 finals where it's Steph against LeBron. I agree with that, but like what this could also be the start of the GOATS championship run. So
yeah, and also it could be the thing is if they lose in five, well, people talk about it like the '07 finals where they would just say, "Oh, the Knicks were just so clearly the better team," and well, people talk about it that way. Is that what the
no,
'07 finals was? Like, because I don't remember. I started watching after the '07 finals, not before it. So I
yeah.
don't know what the '07 finals in real time was being discussed. Um, so it was probably discussed way differently than we discuss it now, for
I mean,
sure.
I think the funny thing is like the two first games in the '07 finals was like a 9 point game and an 11 point game, and then the two last was 3 and 1 point games.
Yeah, but these were the home games for the Cavs.
Yeah,
So Um, yeah. Okay, so now we have. I think the Spurs will take Game 5, and I think the Knicks
I
will
hope
win.
so. I want to see Madison Square Garden for Game 6. I think that could be electric.
Yeah, it was so electric last game, bro. That was crazy. Game 4 was crazy. It's funny, the only game they lost was the game that Donald Trump attended.
Shit, we need to get him back in for Game 6 then.
Yeah,
Shit, maybe he
that could
will. You get a chance to see the championship, he'll probably try to be there.
that could jinx them.
Oh, could you imagine?
And they're just losing these two games, and that'll be crazy. Uh, but yeah, winning the first two games is definitely a difference maker as well, because young teams on the road are usually not as good as.
Shit, they've been just as good on the road, if not better than they were at home.
Yeah, that's usually the case, but not with the Spurs. That's what I was about to say. Like, the Spurs are definitely great on the road, especially in Madison Square Garden, despite all of the atmosphere. They're doing well on the road, outside of that fumble
I
in
mean,
the
this
fourth
also,
quarter.
if the Spurs came back from down 3-1 to make this 7, oh my goodness.
Mm.
I hope
Okay,
we get to see. I mean, this has been amazing so far. I mean, I've said it before that I'm rooting for the Spurs, and like, yeah, this has been close, great basketball games with super high level play. So
yeah.
yeah, fuck me for us for them losing, but like this been still been great. I'll say that. We
Yeah,
have
I
some
mean, I love both teams. I love both teams. So I,
World Cup to get to.
yeah, I mean, I need the. I don't want. I don't know if I want Game 7 just because of the World Cup thing, but yeah, Game 6 definitely. I want it. I
What
want
I
it to
know
end.
about Game
I mean,
7?
also my original prediction was Knicks in 6, so there's that too. Uh, but yeah, I don't want it over in 5 just for the narratives. I don't want it to be remembered as an easy series, because it was not. So yeah, I still root for the Knicks, but if the Spurs win, I'm not gonna be mad at it because I like the Spurs as a franchise in general. They are probably my favorite franchise in the league, to be honest. Them and the Thunder. So yeah. About the World Cup though, you said you haven't watched yet. There
I
hasn't
think I
been.
watched a few minutes of Mexico South Africa. Other than
That
that,
was tough to
I
watch.
saw there
There was
was
a lot
3 red cards in that. By the way, that was
three
that's
red cards, and they're like direct red cards.
yeah. I think that's the first time ever I saw someplace.
And it
At least
wasn't even that interesting. I mean, when you see three red cards, you imagine there were a lot of fights or something. That was not the case. They were just playing stupidly violent. It was weird. It was a weird watch. There was nothing exciting about the game, to be honest. I didn't like it, but it was early, so any 10 p.m. match, like my time, I'm gonna watch it. Those early games, I'm gonna watch them.
did you watch the U.S. game versus Paraguay?
No, that was too late. And also, I was tired yesterday, but I heard like my dad watched it and he says it's he said the US team looks very good
Yeah, that's
as a
what I heard
team.
too. I also saw that I saw a little bit of clips of Christian Pulisic, and he looked pretty good as well. So I don't know. Maybe they can have a good. They can be the home team that kind of surprises that we've seen sometimes.
Yeah. Also, I think one of the underrated aspects of this US team is the coach. I think Mauricio Pochettino is one of the most underrated coaches in the world. He's one of the best coaches in the world, in my opinion.
But he got so much flag in Tottenham.
He was. I mean, the Tottenham team was not that good. He played well. They played well all the time. They were just better teams. It's as simple as that. Uh, so I don't blame him for Tottenham. But Paris Saint Germain is where people like were out on him. But I think no coach was going to coach that front three. There was no one who was capable of that.
I mean,
So it's a recipe for career suicide for any coach, really.
he got Tottenham to the Champions League final. So
Yeah, he did. That's what I'm talking about. He's a really good coach. He's a good tactician. Like the way his teams play is very detail oriented. And I heard the USA played a very good, like high pressing game. And Paraguay is not a bad team, by the way. They're
No,
not South Africa. They're not Canada or Bosnia.
they're not
This
cool.
team, I watched Canada versus Bosnia. And it was also another boring game. So yeah, it was. I'm waiting for tonight's game though. Brazil versus Morocco.
Brazil, Morocco is probably going to be good.
Yeah, Morocco is probably not as good as the last World Cup in terms of the front three, but they're a better overall team in terms of the squad depth. Because they had it's a project for them, like the national team. So back then it was the beginning of them reaping that fruit, but they were still a very like spirit driven team. Their front three were so good, but their backup three were so bad. Now their backups are better, but their front three, the starting lineup is not. They don't have Zayash or Bufal or Nseri, but they have a good team now still. Like so, they could at least make it to the to the round of eight, the quarterfinals. I don't think they're one of the top four teams. Brazil is an interesting thing. I don't know if Neymar is playing tonight. I don't think he's playing tonight. Because they said he's going to be out for the first game when he got injured earlier. But what do you think about Brazil? Do you think they're doing anything this year?
I mean, I feel like they've always been kind of a team with. Yeah, he's not playing. By the way, I just looked at the. This is the projector started living. So what do I know? I feel like they've always been a team that everyone's talked about as a super high potential team, and they have a lot of stars like Marquinhos, Casemiro, Vinicius, Rafinha. I mean, there's just a bunch of good players in their team, and it's always been that. But since they won in '02, that's always been very disappointing, especially that 7-1 defeat to Germany
I mean,
in
in 2010 and 2014, they were a bad team. Like, on paper, even.
I
They
mean,
didn't have.
14 they had a lot of hope, especially at home, and they
Yeah,
made it to
because
the
it was at home. But, like, when you have Fred starting, Luis Gustavo, Paulinho, like, these guys in the starting lineup is not promising. So yeah, I don't Renato Augusto. I mean, their team was not good enough in 2014. But overall, like yeah, in this year it's a good team, but also it's a very old team. They have Danilo, they have Alexandro, they have Casemiro, they have Marquinhos. That looks like their PS 2013 team. That's just that's a weird team to field if they are playing with most of these guys on the field together. It's a very old team, especially if Neymar plays. But yeah, of course not tonight. But generally speaking, they have a lot of old players, not just Neymar. And I don't know if they're a contender this year.
they're
I
starting someone
think
from the Brazilian league. What happened to the Brazil I grew up with? God
they
damn.
always do that. They always do that. To be honest, they always find a way to start someone from the Brazilian league.
I mean, these
And
guys used
I
to
mean,
have all of their guys play for fucking Real Madrid and Barcelona. God damn.
yeah, but like '02, when they won, they had Ronaldinho and Kaká from the Brazilian league. That was their Brazilian league at the time. Like these were their Brazilian league players, Ronaldinho and Kaká. Uh, Now in '06, it was I think
In
one of the
14, Neymar was from the Brazilian league, but
no 2010 Neymar went from the Brazilian.
2010 was from the Brazilian. My bad.
2014 it was Fred the striker
Yeah, but
and
this guy is 35 years old, so I don't see him suddenly becoming Neymar.
who is the striker?
Alexandro.
Sandro, yeah. He's a
He's
very.
starting in that.
Do you not
He's,
remember Alexandro? He
where
was
did he
playing
play?
for Juventus. He was in Juventus
That's
back
right.
when Juventus was Juventus, like
That's
like
right.
10
He
years
played
ago.
with Cristiano.
Yeah, he played with Cristiano. He played even before Cristiano. He played with, or like, yeah, he was there like 10 years ago, 7 years ago, and I
But
think
like
he
they
played
used to
somewhere else.
have like now I look at it, it says Flamingo, Alali, Ali Tihad. Fabinho is still on this team, and
I mean, yeah, Fabinho is
he's
also
three
old and
years
he's
ago.
playing in Saudi Arabia.
St. Petersburg, Bournemouth, Brentford, Santos. Santos is Neymar, so fair enough, but still, like
Yeah, that squad
10, 20 years
cooked.
ago, their whole team was the best players. Like
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least when they like won it, it was like their best players. All of them were the best players in the world.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're still fielding the same team, but the players are cooked now. It's
Yeah,
over for you. So it is the same team. Like Danilo is just went to worse teams. Alexandro's in a worse team. Neymar is in a worse team. Fabinho,
they're
Casemiro.
just old.
But yeah, but they're the same players. They're just on worse teams now. it's yeah. Marquinhos is still playing in PSG though. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
Who do you think is winning it all this time?
I mean, for me, it's either Spain or France.
I think France is gonna fumble, and I think
Yeah,
Norway.
it does seem like that.
I think Norway is winning it. I don't know why, but I have this feeling that Norway is unbeatable. I looked at their
There is
picture.
no way Norway's gonna win this thing.
Have you seen their Viking picture?
Yeah. You know how much it costs? It cost like a huge ruckus. Like everyone said it was like racist. Let me actually find that.
Racist.
Let me.
That's crazy. They can't even represent their own history now. Come on.
Uh,
So if Egypt pulled up in pharaoh costumes, they would be um, I don't know, like advertising slave labor. That's crazy. That is wild. I mean, the U.S. hasn't even changed their national anthem yet, and they're lecturing others and stuff like that. That's wild. Why was that a huge ruckus though? Like, who caused the ruckus? What
I
happened?
don't know, dumbass woke people. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Let me.
Oh,
I knew I saw this. Sorry, this is gonna be me searching
that's
because
fine.
this is a little too interesting to not find out about. I saw the article somewhere.
It's always white people telling non-white people to be offended at stuff they are not even offended by. It's always like that. Um, but yeah, that aside, I do believe Norway is a contender.
Yeah, I mean they have Haaland, Ødegaard. I mean it's gonna look good for me if Haaland wins. That's obvious.
Are you supporting them, by the way? Like a neighboring
I feel like I
country?
kind of have to. But the thing is, because we're not at it, if they won somehow, that would be that would that would not look good. Let's say it like that.
I mean, sure, there's this like brotherly banter over there as
There
well,
is
right?
some, like obviously, like actually, my team we have a lot of Swedes. So if Sweden went ahead and did really good, that I would actually I look forward to for them.
Yeah, but Sweden is not as good, like in terms of predictions. Um, but yeah, like so, Sweden is closer to y'all than Norway.
There's someone that okay, here it is. Here it is.
Yeah.
Some people like compared it to Nazism, which is like
What?
insane. And then some other people was like, okay, it's probably some would say it's a little chauvinistic and very masculine. And is that really how we want to portray Norway in 2026? But I think the criticism is much more about that it's a little bit embarrassing that Norwegian football stars are dressed out in Viking uniforms more than anything. I will say like shit, Viking history is our culture. Like I don't like it's Denmark, Norway, Sweden, all of this. So I don't even see anything embarrassing in it. I just like that they're doing it. But like
Yeah, it was.
people just want to find something to complain about. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's it was such a great picture. I liked it, to be honest. I didn't see anyone complaining about it. If people are complaining about it, it's usually it would either be some people from either Norway or another Nordic country trying to be um like more royal than the king in a way, or some white people from the US just telling other people what to feel. But yeah, like that's usually what it is. I've seen that even happen to us as Egyptians when someone not from Egypt like wears a pharaoh costume and you see white people complaining. I've never seen an Egyptian complaining. Like that's always the case. So yeah, it's kind of weird.
I mean, people.
But yeah, I mean, every culture when you have an ancient history culture thing, it's at this point it's just aesthetics. They're not like trying to pillage the World Cup. It's weird. It's weird that anyone is offended by this. Yeah.
I don't even know. It's I mean it's also because like okay, here's a fun story. Last year, and because our team is called the Nordic Storm, there's a bit of a Viking thing over it. We were playing a team called Vienna Vikings in the semifinals. And one guy from like our board came up and gave like a 10-minute speech where he was like, is anyone here from the UK? Well, we went there and we raided them. And then he was like, anyone here from Austria? We raided them too. And he was like talking
What?
about how we burned villages down and raped the women and children. And I was like, okay, one, you're going too far, and two, this is very corny. So I kind of have experienced this for myself, but
What
yeah,
was on his mind?
I don't even know. It's because they're named the Vienna Vikings, and we probably want to be named the Nordic Vikings or something. Because I mean, it makes more sense for the Nordic countries to be named it. But I digress. But okay, back to the World Cup. Back to the World Cup.
Yeah. So I said Norway is my at least dark. I mean, I don't know if they're bad enough to be a dark horse. If they're not bad enough to be a dark horse, then I think they're good enough to win. But if you think,
They were great in the group stage.
yeah,
They're really good in the group stage. I mean, still, let me see.
mhm.
I mean, the best team is. I mean, it has to be France.
Yeah,
Like just on paper,
and
the
that's the
best.
point. I don't know if they're like low key enough to be. Yeah, let's see, let's see. But I don't think it's
Yeah,
gonna be France. I
Holland.
think
Oh,
France is
Sola.
gonna lose
Sola
early.
used to play in the Danish league. He's nice. I like him.
Oh,
Odegaard.
someone is here. It's Cowboy Bob. Okay, let us get
Yeah, we're gonna
Cowboy
go
Bob.
back to Nick's talk, I guess.
Wait, he's not here? I thought I pulled him up.
He did.
Um,
Wait.
did he come up and then go or
No, I didn't. I didn't see him. Maybe he did because we were talking about the World Cup. I don't know.
um okay, that's
This is a bit of an off schedule episode for us.
yeah, I mean bit of content.
I respect it though. I like it. I like this is a bit more of a just talk. I fuck with it.
Yes, fine. I mean I don't wait, he's back, I think. Let me yeah, he's here. Let's add him to the stage.
Hey
Yep.
guys, how y'all doing?
What up, cowboy?
Sorry, I had my phone had to charge. I got in and out, but I just got a quick pointer because y'all talking about NBA. I was on Chill with Chill, so I jumped over to help support you guys. What do you guys think of Dylan Harper?
I think he's the best player I've ever seen. I love him more than my own
Wrong.
girlfriend.
Wrong. Now let me explain to y'all why. I'm not going to take away from his talent, and I'm not going to take away from anything. But given the situation that he has, number one, the Spurs offense don't even set up plays for Wemby that often. So him being an elite guard, he would have to be a setup player. I have never seen him outside of coming off of a screen or going downhill or hitting a pull-up actually set up a play for someone else. So I haven't seen that. That's why I have a doubt. I'm not saying he doesn't have it, but that's a doubt because in this series in the playoffs, I've seen him just go straight to the basket or take the shot. He waves off people in the aspect of he doesn't look to pass the ball to me. The next point I gotta say is as well is I've seen him get in foul trouble when they tried starting him when Fox got hurt. I've seen how he is as well as when he's on the court more. He gets tired when he's trying to defend Jalen Brunson. A lot of people do. He can't keep up. I don't think anybody can. He can't keep up with the fast-paced offense of the Knicks defensively because one, De'Aaron Fox got better experience, and De'Aaron Fox can hold him Brunson a little bit better than Harper can. But Harper's youth and inexperience is where I think his lapses are. I'm not saying Harper isn't as good, or I'm not comparing him and Fox. I'm just showing you how they are on the court to me. I feel Harper has a lot of potential. A lot of people are giving him boosts, but he's coming off the bench, giving them a spark. If he's like the sixth man, that's what he's supposed to do. But because you guys have so much hatred for Fox or someone else on the Vassell, whoever, you want to put a guy who's just coming off the bench and sparking being real well. Sort of like what y'all did last year with Jason Williams of the OKC. He had the same type of style where he had a green light to attack the basket anytime he had the ball. And he was their biggest key asset in transition offense. Same thing with Harper this year. He's one of their key assets for transition offense. Outside of that, why are you guys thinking that that is good enough for him to be a starter?
I think it's good enough for him to be a starter because I think they always, when he's on the court, he's a better defender than here's what I'm gonna say. He's a better defender than Fox, and he's a better shooter than Castle, which is kind of the pick their poison situation the Spurs are in right now, where it's hard for them to sometimes play Fox because one, he's very up and down offensively, and two, he's not really that defensive level he used to be. And then on the other side, you're picking between Stefan Castle, which when he doesn't have the ball, the Knicks can just leave him open because he's not that good of a shooter. So I think because he sometimes hit the sweet spot, I think that's where he can be inserted in this. I understand them bringing him off the bench because that's what they've been doing all year. So I'm not necessarily even say start him. I do think he should play. I do think they should just try to play him more. I think he's a really good defender, especially considering his age. I might even I think he might even be the best guard finisher in the league because holy fuck is he good at finishing.
All right.
His timing on finishes is amazing. You got to give him.
But that's his youth, though. That's what I'm saying. Like these skills that he has now that you guys are seeing, that's based off of youth. And I'm not taking away from that. But he has to have something more to his game, like a stop and pop, a stop and spin. I don't even.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't think right now. That, yeah, if he gets that, you're talking about a top 5 point guard ever. I'm sorry. If he develops.
Bro, chill.
in the West. I'm talking about a top. No. What I'm saying is if he has a mid-range game, I think that he will be just like I said, J-Dub. Everyone blew up J-Dub last year, said he's this and that. That's where I see Harper right now. But for me, Harper has so much potential. He's not using his full skill set. A lot of the things you guys are seeing are based off of his youth, his downhill speed to get to the basket. And plus, Fox has been hurt, so Fox defense really ain't been on point. So
I agree with that. I'm the reality of it. The reality of the situation is that De'Aaron Fox is hurt right now. So
yeah,
we can't just make De'Aaron Fox magically healthy. I wish we could. I wish we could see healthy De'Aaron Fox. I wish that. I'm rooting for the Spurs. I would want him, but the reality of the situation is right now he's not. So right now you have to play with what you got, which is why I
Yeah.
think you
I,
can. I also
I
think like when he's guarded by Jalen Brunson, he should just run the action, whether that's pick and roll or anything. Like
thank you.
you don't even have to work to get De'Aaron Fox into the action. He's already there.
Yep.
So it's like, and
Yep.
Jalen Brunson can't guard him, and we've seen that. Um, I I think I think maybe I overstate how good he is right now because I look at how young he is, and if I've done that, that's my fault. I
You
just
do.
want to say this is his. Bear with me. Like he's 20 years old right now, and he's a
Me,
rookie.
I'm
But you
very
gotta
high on
understand
him
though,
too. I'm very high on him, but like you're
it's his
top five
background.
point guard of all time is crazy.
Here's why I say that. I'm saying he could be. The only other point guard who's a rookie point guard, age 20 or to age 19, that's better than him was Magic Johnson.
I don't
Like you
think so.
understand that, right? Like the only other point guard that's been better
Nah,
than him at age 2019.
I
you
think
can't
you're
say that because you're letting him play into his greatest assets. You're seeing the best of his skills out of youth. Go downhill and score.
I mean, I agree with that. Like he's not a star player or anything, but like who have you seen age 19 or 20 in the playoffs better than him?
1920. Well, again, my era, we didn't have too many people come out of high school. Like you could say, well, KG. Now he wasn't
But
20 when
he's
he
like
made
these are big guys. I was saying point guards.
point
That's what
guards.
I
Like most of the guys that I've watched, that nobody really came out of high school as far as a guard outside of Kobe. Like very rare guards came out of
yeah,
high
this
school.
is like
To me,
you could, but even like maybe you could start talking about him with like a 19-year-old Kobe, which is his second season where he was second and sixth man of the year. I
yeah,
think
but to me, it's like Harper to me is a great player. But the thing is a lot of the stuff he's doing is because he was taught by his dad. His father played the same way, but his father was more reserved. So a lot of the things he's doing, like when he was playing in game 3 and he was hitting those shots earlier and everything, that was his dad coaching him, like, yo, this is what you got to do. But where the difference I see that he doesn't have is when he gets late into the games. Harper doesn't generate the same energy consistently. That's another problem I have with him. He'll give you a great first half or a great third quarter, but then when you need him in that fourth spot or when you need him that start a run and keep it consistent, he's unavailable because he's tired from running both floors. So for me, I think he's great, but I think everyone's bumping him up because again, he's about to break Manny Ginobili. I think he is. No, he's about to become second because Manny Ginobili has the most points for play off the bench, and I think he's at like 260, and I think Manny had like 380 total for the playoffs, something like that. I know Mars would know the numbers, but because he's second or third in the Spurs ranking as a rookie, a lot of y'all put him up there too quick, and he just like Wemby and everybody else. I got to give these guys time.
I agree. I agree. But I think he right now he's like a low level. Like how he's played this postseason is like a low level all star player. I feel like is that we can like agree. This is probably like a top 30-ish player.
I don't think so. Not
Is
yet.
that insane? There's got to be at least one all star he's better than. One of them
Okay,
is.
Nah,
let me.
I really don't
Can I?
think so because go ahead, Amir.
I mean,
You
he's
have
Yeah,
a
better
reason.
than
yeah,
Shane right now.
bro.
Let's
Okay.
face it.
First of all, if we're just talking about talent level and ability, sure. Like I'm with you. He's for his age, he's crazy talented and crazy. Like also, his decision making is way better than any player I've seen at his age in a long time. But I don't think he's producing at the level that. I mean, yeah, he's had some crazy games, but like when you're looking at a game where he's like 7 of 9 from three, and you're saying, yeah, this guy is. That's not the norm. That's not what he's gonna do every game if he starts or he plays more. So I don't think he's that good yet. I think he's close to being to reaching his potential if he plays more, but that's because he's an early peak type of player, not because like he's gonna improve as fast and by year 5 he's I don't want to say Isaiah Thomas because you probably think he's already better than him. So like Chris Paul, let's say Chris Paul. Like I don't know. I feel like the thing I'm impressed most by is his decision making. But this is where we disagree because I think the decision making being this good means that he doesn't have a long way to go. Because if your decision making is this good, then you're doing the best you can do already. So yes, we're talking now about him getting better, not executing better. Do you get my point?
Yeah,
Thank you. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
but
You
I
said
agree with that. But
exactly.
I also think you guys are overstating his decision making. I
No,
think he
no,
has a
no, no,
long way
no.
to go.
We're
Let's say,
saying for his age, he's ahead of the curve. And with that being said, that's right now. What is he gonna add to make him be consistent? That's all we're worried about. What consistency outside of his ability to make decisions, quick reads, because he's young to see the court. What is he
the
gonna add to that?
Yeah. By the way, shout out Ryan Nimhard of the Dallas Mavericks because even though he didn't play much this year, he gave me the same vibe when I watched him. Ryan Nimhard is a great decision maker as well, and he's also a rookie. So
I do think that Dylan Harper still has some ways to go in terms of like playmaking reads and so on. What I am so intrigued about is how good his finishing is. Like his
yeah, he
understanding
reminds me of Tony Parker in that regard. He's
of like angles, like
he's a lot like Tony Parker in how he finishes, like how explosive he is.
just like he's a super crafty player. Like he is, yeah. Like right now he's their Manu Ginobili in a sense. Like it's
Nah, I
also
think he's
still
their
fun
Tony
that
Parker.
there's this
He's their
there's
Ginobili
Tony
had a
Parker. Not
rebounding. Ginobili had a mid game. Ginobili came
shit.
to the
Dylan
league
Harper
with
is one
all
of
of
the
this
best
shit.
guard rebounders in the league. Dylan Harper
But
is
he
a really
came to the league with it though. Like we saw it from jump. Like that's what we're talking about. If you're gonna compare him to Ginobili, you can see
yeah.
Ginobili from game one. Like, oh shit, if he stays this way, we're gonna be good. But when you look at Harper, you're like, yeah, he's good because of his youth, but he doesn't have the rebounding game. He doesn't have the setup to pass. He doesn't have the will to jump out of bounds and hit the ball off of someone's side of the head, Mellow, and to get the ball back. You know, these things he doesn't have. But we saw with Ginobili straight off the bat.
I mean,
But you
one
can't
thing is
compare
he's
Harper to
better
him.
right now than Ginobili was in the '03 finals.
I think he's better than. I think Ginobili. See, this is the okay. This is where I get lost when we compare players
Also,
because
Ginobili, I just want to say Ginobili was 25 in '03.
no, I
So
get that, but this is where I get confused because when we compare players, we rarely, keyword rarely use actual context. For example, Ginobili, the way he was allowed to play and have the green light is different than Harper in this era. The style of play, the way you're being used, the way you can read angles and cut. The stuff that Ginobili did, he created and used it consecutively throughout the league. The stuff that Harper has to learn, he doesn't have. So what I'm talking about now is because in today's game, Harper has all these assets that are eyes wide open. You are going to give him a higher boost than you would someone like a Ginobili because you see Ginobili and you're going to say, oh, he has work in progress. He's a good sixth man, but he's just consistent. But when you see Harper, y'all go and say Harper got this potential, this and that because of this time era. But when you look at how you compare the two and the usage, Ginobili is more of a team player. Let me give you an outside example. Josh Hart. Josh Hart is probably the most confusing player to have on a starting roster, but there's nobody that can rebound like Josh Hart. So when you look at Ginobili, Ginobili can rebound, Ginobili can pass. There's nobody that can do what he did. But you know, if you got Josh Hart, you're gonna get that. When you get Harper in, you only know Harper's only gonna give you that downhill explosion and maybe a couple of wide open threes off of rotations. That's why I said
I
if he
mean,
can
I just
create like
don't agree
Ginobili
with that.
created.
I think Dylan Harper is a really fucking good rebounder. I think he's a I think he has a good knack for passing. I don't think he's there yet. I think he can knock down. I think he's a really good defender too. Like I
he's
think
a good
right now
defender
his
for
role
his
is
age.
and he's
For his
right now
age, he's a great defender. Yeah.
what?
For his age, he's a great defender.
Yes,
But like
yes.
I think the better comparison is Tony Parker, not Manu. He's more of a Tony
Thank you.
Parker
Yeah,
than
yeah. Because Tony also had development as well. Tony had very good game, but he had to develop a pass game with Tim. He had to learn. So even though Tony was good in his first year, it wasn't until second, third year Tony where it worked out.
Yeah, he's better at 19 than Tony was, but I mean, like, that the style of play is closer to Tony Parker. And I'm not talking about the trajectory. I'm just talking about the style of play because the finisher he is and the dribbler he is, that's Tony Parker. He has like the change of direction, the craftiness, the finishing, and the defense. Also, Tony was an underrated defender. Um, so yeah, I think he's more of a Tony Parker than a Manu. Manu was like different. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'll wait and see because I think the things he needs to add from scratch to his game in order to be what you think he will be are there. And I think the fact that he looks already like a year 4 player is making us overstate his potential. Some players are so good from the get go, but that's not because they have high potential. That's just because they come with the ability to execute everything they can do at like a very high level. And he's one of those guys. Now, if he does add those other things, that's another scary thing because we're talking about LeBron level improvement. LeBron came into the league, there were things he couldn't do at all that he added to his game and perfected. So if he does that, yes, we're talking about an elite player in the league. But I don't just assume players are going to add things from scratch. That's very difficult to do.
But I also like I yeah, I mean I think a lot of the hype on Dylan Harper is just how good for how young he is. Like I said, the only other point guard like this at this age is Magic.
The
Magic was also
sample size, the most great point guard that came into the league came into bad teams and didn't make the playoffs. It's not that he's compared to others who like did Chris Paul make the playoffs at his age? I know. But if he
no
did, maybe he would have been better. I mean, in the regular season, Chris Paul as a rookie was better than him. Kyrie as a rookie was better than him. Damian Lillard as a rookie was better than him. These guys did not make the playoffs. It's as simple as players who are that good are not going to make the playoffs that early often because they're usually drafted to bad teams.
I mean that's true.
So there is no sample size. The only one is Magic because he was traded for. He was a traded draft pick.
Agreed. I agree with that. I honestly think also though the issue with Harper is he's in a very unique situation. I think he has the potential to be a key cog with the Spurs, but what gets me off about him is again, like I said, everything Amir said I pretty much agree with. But the problem is we're trying to see ahead for no reason. Like, let me see if I can give you an example real quick. Like, let's just put Harper to the side real quick because I think we're going to keep talking circles about him. But like, what the Spurs need to do to me for them to win would be to keep using everyone in their rotations. I know a lot of you guys don't like the funnel approach and having Wemby as a roamer, but that actually works because it creates shot clock violations. It caused the Knicks to get out of their rhythm. It caused a lot of turnovers and bad decisions, especially on Jalen Brunson, especially him being the leader. So yeah, he wants all the smoke. Y'all need to just keep giving it to him. But the problem is when it only works if Knicks are in foul trouble. You guys got to find a way to use your maturity and the older players early, like what we did with Huckaporty and what's his name in game whatever game it was, where we put them in early in the second half because we got into foul trouble. Like that.
So
That's the
hard.
Yeah,
type of stuff.
game three.
Yeah, like if Spurs can do that to just hold the fort, I think they can win game 5. But the biggest thing that I don't agree with is how everyone's saying they're playing dirty. The Spurs are not playing dirty. The Spurs are actually playing the closest to physicality you can without hurting someone. And it looks sloppy because they're inexperienced. I don't know if you guys notice when you first trying to do something and you're seeing the film, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I look like that." Like Wemby setting screens with his arms. I guarantee you, by the next year or a year from now, he's not gonna be doing that again. So it's like they're going through the motions as best as they can with the limited experience. Knicks also got limited experience, but if they stay consistent, pressuring Brunson, keep doing one of the things I like that the Spurs do is I like when they do the full court press. And this is why I like it, because when they do it with Harper on the court, I'm a Knicks fan. So me saying I like something against the Knicks is a bad thing. But when they have Harper and they're inbounding the ball on Brunson and Brunson gets pressed by Harper and you have the trail defender in the back watching, I love when Brunson hits past that free throw line to get to the half court line before he crosses over. They're already bringing that man up to cut off his passing lanes and try to box him in and force us to get basically bringing the ball up late or back court violation. Any of those. That type of pressure is great. But what they do a lot of times is once they get Brunson in that corner, they let him sit there and let him pass the ball to Harper. And then when Harper gets to the rim, they let Brunson get to the rim and then they force him to get to the rim. And then they let Harper get to the rim. And then they force him to get to the rim. And then they let Harper get to the rim. And then they force him to get to the rim. And then they let Harper get to the rim. And then they force him to get to the rim. And then they let Harper get to the rim. And then they force him to get to the rim. And then they let Harper get to the rim. And then they force him to get to the rim. And then they let Harper get to the rim. And then they force him to get to the rim. And then they let Harper get to the rim. And then they force him to get to the rim. And then they let Harper get to the rim. And then they force him to get to the rim. And then they let Harper get to the rim.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna load back in. I've had like 2 phone calls. Just let me load back in. Sorry, because I don't want to have that echo.
Yeah, your audio's cooked. Um, yeah, I thought it was from my end, but apparently it was him. So yeah, I think that was good analysis. Um, oh wait, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh yeah. So I think that's good analysis. I like what he just did there. Let us add him back in. Oh wow. No. The audio
Nice.
is
His audio is cooked.
yep. The audio is cooked.
Yeah, it's me, right? My audio is bad.
Yeah, you're
It's
good. Now you're
it's better now. It's better now. It's better now. Go on.
Okay, sorry. I had like 2 phone calls back to back. I'm like, I'm almost hitting points. I guess the Knicks do not want me to give out the secret on how we're gonna lose. But
Oh,
no,
Bob, I need to
seriously.
ask something. Bob, I need to ask something. Do you think the
Yeah, go ahead.
series is over?
Honestly, for my benefit, yes, because I said Knicks in 5 before anybody else. I believe they would be here for my benefit as a fan, and me being a fan. Yes, I want it to be in 5, but to see off of the logistics and how this is, how I have a feeling that the Spurs can do great. The only reason why I'm not 1,000% in on it is because of Brunson. Like I would say, Spurs can win tonight. I'd have no problem saying that outside of any other factor. But to tell you the truth, when you look at how Brunson is, he got a chip on his shoulder. He has yet to actually perform to his level. Once he does that, I think then the Knicks will win. But to be honest, outside of Brunson, I think the Spurs have a chance because of what I was saying about the defensive setup. You keep Brunson in the corner, try to run down the clock, and then pressure once it gets within 12 seconds, you pressure the passing lanes, and then you force them to keep the ball moving, but they're doing cross-court passes rather than side-to-side swings. So stuff like that is how San Antonio can win, and I think they can do it the first half, but the issue is the second half is, and that being experience and youth. If they can use the bench, like I said, early in the game, and then rely on their youth late, Spurs got a chance. So I think right now Spurs are in favor. I'm going to give them like a 52% chance to win, but you never count the Knicks out, especially in game 29. Oh, and real quick, I wanted to say something. Remember, did you seen the game when they came back from
Go ahead.
29, right?
I actually, what I did, I saw them go up by 29. I was like, wait, this is over. And
Mm-hmm.
then, because I watch it the day after always, because I'm not
Yeah.
staying before 3 a.m. So I go to like look at the end score to like, okay, is anything happening? And then see it gets close. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to not watch, I
Yeah.
just go to the point and I fucking see it happen. I was like, fuck. And I was like, my mind just couldn't go back and watch that second half comeback.
Yeah, because
But
you're
I
like,
kind of see some clips of it. I haven't.
No,
I
no, but
actually
if
didn't
you
watch
go
it
back,
live too. I thought it's over and I went to sleep, and the next day I watched the second
see,
half.
The
see,
only
that's the
game I
problem.
watched live is game 2 because we had to go to the airport at like 4 a.m.
Okay. See, that's the problem. And I hate to say this because I know time zones are different for you guys. But remember how we always compare the 90s and you heard me about Jordan, how he just would walk in and the aura and all of that? Watching that game, even if you watch it now, I know you guys already know the results, but when you
No, I
watch
did watch it. Yeah,
like if you watch every single move and you see how it is, you're like stuck on it. I'm not even gonna front. I've seen the game live. I've watched it 7 times since then because I still don't believe it happened. I'm like,
yeah,
you
it
did
was
not win.
crazy. Even the celebrities, like they were jumping, like it was a
And
crazy
here's
game.
another thing: people were sitting in the seats 45 minutes to an hour after the game was over. Like
Yeah,
I
that
heard
type of
that.
energy, that's what I'm talking about how the 90s was for us because we didn't have the numbers like you guys have. We didn't have the access to TV. So like how you guys missed out on it, that's how most of the masses missed out back in the day because it's like you only had one TV and if you wasn't watching it on that or hearing it on the radio, you missed a good game. But that's what I was trying to tell y'all. Like watching the Knicks play that comeback was exactly how it was back in the 90s. Knicks or whichever team, they're counted out. They're not going to come back. I've seen
same.
Jordan be down by 12 against the Knicks, and then we come around and lose by 15 to him
You want to
in
hear
the
the
fourth
funny
quarter.
thing? When
And
the Spurs lost,
if I didn't have League Pass, I probably wouldn't have went to sleep
you want to
because
hear the funny thing? If the
yeah,
Spurs, when the Spurs was up 29, I was like, they're gonna blow this. I was like, they're gonna fucking blow this.
Why would
And I
you
was like,
say that?
actually,
because
someone on the group chat
I mean,
said
the
it.
game was
I don't know
over. I
who was
was
it on
already
the Hall of
10
Fame.
so
Who was it on the Hall of Fame chat that said it with like down 25? He said the Spurs will fumble it. Was it Daniel?
I thought it was Kenny. I mean Clay. Clay.
Yeah, I don't know who, but one of them said the Spurs will blow this lead.
Yeah, and I
It was
couldn't believe it because the thing is I'm watching. Everyone I know on my side of the corner was like, "Yo, man, this game's over." A lot of people in my neighborhood walked away for a minute because they felt like memories of us losing. When they
yeah.
heard, "Oh, we're down by 15 in the third," they came running back. Was like, "What I missed? What I missed?" And they started watching it, and it brought like this euphoria, this drug of chaos.
yep.
So
So if it
yeah,
goes
that's
to
that.
six, are you optimistic about winning in six, or do you think if it goes to six, it will go to seven?
No, it'll
You're
be.
gonna be tied if it goes 6. I don't even care
If it
what.
goes six, I'll be pissed. I would be pissed and I'd actually go in favor of it going to seven because if they
You don't
came back
trust the
and
Garden? You don't
no,
trust the
no, no, it's
Garden?
not that. It's well, we already lost once in the Garden. Like you really look at it, three of our losses out of three of our losses, two of them were in the Garden. So
Just keep Donald Trump out of there and you'll be fine.
nah, that won't happen. You know that nosy, that big redhead dude gonna come in there like, hey, I'm the president. I want to go see my Knicks. Him and that's another thing that pisses me off. Everyone now is on the bandwagon. But the thing is what y'all have to understand is this thing takes years. You just can't get a player now and expect them to be well. This took 4 years in the making. And the people who started it and Tibbs and everybody, they're not even here. Some of these players, RJ Barrett, they're not here. So what we did as Knicks, it takes time. And all I want to say to everyone, y'all could have reached it too. Be honest with you, all the Spurs need, and if they do this, I'm telling you, they will win back-to-back championships. If they can get a big, I was thinking of like a DeAndre Jordan, help out Wemby with the boys.
DeAndre Jordan.
Hold on, let me explain to you. Get him off the bench. Hold on, get him off the bench and get him into a post game to help Wemby because him being on the post side would allow Wemby to run on the opposite side. Because here's the thing, him setting up on the post side, he can kind of allow him to roam on offense. Defensively, forget about it. But what I'm
No, no,
saying is,
I'm with you. I'm with you in theory, but DeAndre Jordan?
no, no, like a cheap player that's a veteran, just a cheap veteran player that you can get. Get
I
another
mean, they
big,
already have three.
Yeah,
They have
Luca
Kelly
Nets.
Olynyk, they have Bismack Biyombo, and they have
but
Blondie. They
Bismack they're
can
not
just
using. Okay, so if you have Bismack, then use him. Like what I'm trying to simply say is, I
yeah,
want
they
to go
can
back
use
to the
one of
true
the
talent.
three in the role that you're saying. Like that's what I'm saying. They can use one of
Okay,
those three in that
yeah.
role.
Like to me, I think that they should go back to the double big, like the way they did with Tim Duncan and oh man, David Robinson. Like they should have some plays like that set up for double big setups, help with
I
the
agree.
rebounding. help Wemby out moving so that way he's moving constantly and it's light on his legs rather than have him set up in the post. I think that they also need to have that type of game. So they need another big, and I think they need two shooters. You need a young shooter who's not scared to shoot. And what I mean by that is they can create their own shot. A lot of these guys here on this team can create their own shot if they're going to the lane. None of them I have seen created their own jump shot at three. And I'm talking about a head fake, cross, back to another spot and pull up. You might see
Yeah,
that once
like
in a
the
while.
Iron Top starts,
Yeah.
but like
So
a different level. Yeah.
exactly. So I need a young guy that's gonna run in with this core that can do that, and you're gonna need a vet off the bench that can be a 3 and D. That's it. Because those 2, 3 guys that I just mentioned, when you guys are in a run like y'all did in the first quarter, they're gonna help keep it consistency, or they're gonna help keep one going, or they're gonna help create one for you. They're gonna do something along the lines to throw the other team off their rhythm to where it's
Yeah,
not a 10-0 run. That's why I said that's y'all almost there, just 3 players away.
yeah, I agree with you. I think we both talked about the second center thing. We both
Hmm.
agreed that a two big man lineup is like it has massive potential for the Spurs,
Because
and
they've done it before.
yeah, yeah, they always do well with it. Even with
Yeah.
Zach Collins last year, like that was
Yeah.
yeah, and now with Luke Cornett when it happens, even though Luke Cornett is not very mobile, but he does well on that lineup as well.
And,
So yeah, they need an extra
Anytime
one
I've
there.
anytime maybe they do. I have also said they maybe could do it, but anytime I've seen that lineup get in, they get blown out.
no.
Like it's
They
just not a
get
very
blown
good
out
They
offensive team.
because
do, but
of
at the same
size.
time, you can see the potential of it though. Like
Yeah.
in
I
theory,
see that here.
in
Like here's
theory,
the thing. You would use that like when they were up by 30, you would use that when the second half starts because you want to control the clock, you want to slow down the game, and you know that you taking out and doing the double bigs, it takes you on the offensive glass a lot better. Hell, even right now, they took 3 3-point shots back to back in like 10 seconds. Now, if you have a double big setup, you may get an extra 2 or 3 rebounds, but you're keeping the ball on your side and you're also pushing people out of their pace. That's all
yeah,
I'm saying. Like you don't do it to start offense. You do it to
yeah, yeah,
maintain
for
or hold the
sure,
lead. Yeah.
for sure. It's situational. It's not a lineup you do for like 20 minutes. It's a lineup you can have for like 10 minutes
Yeah.
in the game.
Because you don't have a David Robinson and a Tim Duncan who both can play offensively fast breaks, can create their own shots, that can rebound. You don't have
Yeah,
that.
they
So
don't.
yeah,
And Zach Collins last year, he was a good
exactly.
shooter. Like he was
And
a
then you could
better.
also use
Yeah,
the other big to set up screens as opposed to Wemby because what you can do is you can have a guy set up a screen for the ball handler, but then Wemby can get a backdoor screen from the big, and then now he could be coming off the baseline with a lob. That's what I'm talking about. Like you can slow down and actually create with the double big lineup. The problem is once the Spurs go to that, they get blown out because they'll do the timeout, bring in their fresh legs, and they're burnt out because they use their main defenders in that role. They don't have bench players that they can fill in and just do it for 2 3 minutes
yeah.
outside
Another
of
issue,
Harper.
another issue with this lineup for the Spurs currently is the rebounding. I think Luke Cornett is not the kind of rebounder that you can use in this situation because, like, if they had a Mitchell Robinson, for example, to pair with Wimby, they are going to
Agreed.
do it better because Wimby can just be away from the basket and it will not hurt them on the rebounding. But Luke Cornett is not really a safe rebounder, especially against the Knicks. The Knicks are a tough team to do this against because they're such a great rebounding team. So they will exploit the only strength or like one of the main strengths of that, and they will outdo you in it because they already have Josh Hart, they have Cat, they have Mitchell Robinson, they have OG Anunoby. They have a lot of guys that can rebound. So it's very difficult to do that against the Knicks. But yeah, up 29, that's probably the only situation in this series where I could see them doing that against the Knicks. But yeah, against other teams in the future, they could need that, but not the Knicks in the future. So yeah, like maybe next year they could use it against the Thunder even, but not against the Knicks. So are you? Do you have a plan to go to the game, Cowboy Bob, or you're not going?
No, I cannot go to the game. I was trying to go before, and the cheapest tickets I found was 11,000. I
That's
was like,
crazy.
I'm not doing it. And everyone's like, why don't you do it? I'm like, because don't get me wrong. It's been 50 years. I should have put money aside for a rainy day. But let's really be honest. To me, I prefer being home because
Yeah, yeah,
that's how I watched the game as a kid. You know, I
yeah.
would be there with my dad. I would be there around loved ones. So for me, the game is more enjoyable home because
Mhm.
I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could enjoy myself around the people I
Is your
love. Like,
family going to be there for game 5 and
oh
6?
hell yeah. Me and
Okay,
my
yeah.
dad, this is the sad part. The game's going on and my dad has me on his live and like his video and we're watching it together and I'm like, Dad, I can't hear the game. You're yelling too much. He's like, I don't care. We gonna win. And I'm like, Dad, you act like
Does your dad not live in New York?
no, he
Or
does. He's in the Bronx. I'm just we're a couple of like he's in downtown Bronx, close to the Manhattan. I'm more uptown Bronx, like 233rd. He's at like 170th. So,
Hmm.
but like
Yeah.
we watched the game together, and
So get
he's like,
together
"Oh
for
my
games
god, I
five and
love it!"
six.
Huh?
Yeah. Get together for games 5 and 6. That
Yeah, get together for games 5 and 6.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to
We are,
do
we
this
are.
with your dad. Like,
No, no,
would-
we do. Like tonight, I'm getting ready actually to go see him tonight because
and
we go
maybe
to our
and
spot.
maybe
Yep.
maybe Zora Mamdani will go and cancel out the Trump effect. Who knows?
Man, I'm telling you, Trump does not need to be involved in sports, bro. He when he got into it, I was like, you cost us the 13 winning streak.
Yeah.
shit, he's going to be at game. He's going to be in the World Cup final
Yeah,
when it's in
Well,
New York as well.
he's
that's
gonna ruin it
crazy.
for everybody, man. That man just needs to stay in out of people's business. But hey, guys, I gotta run. I'll speak to y'all later. Thank you for
So have a
having me
good one,
on.
Cowboy.
Thanks
Go
for
New York,
joining
go
us.
New York, go! Haha.
Thanks for joining us. Shout out to Cowboy Rob. That was great analysis.
Yeah, I love having Cowboy on. It's always entertaining.
Yeah, he does what you can see. He watches the game with so much passion. Like he gives it a lot of thought.
For sure.
Yeah. So, you have anything else? Or
Let's get back to this World Cup. I've been doing a little bit of research while y'all been yapping just to get the.
go ahead, give us the results.
I just Spain is the favorite. France like right behind them. I think France obviously has a better team. There's just a little bit of a Spain always plays with such a team-minded mentality, and they've always been a great like tiki-taka team-minded ball team. So
Mhm.
I think that's probably their advantage. But like the four attacking players on France are maybe like four of the 6, 8 best attackers in the world or whatever. Like they got
Mhm.
Dembele won the Ballon d'Or, Mbappe, who's one like we know who Mbappe is, Ulisse, from Paris. Like that
They
is
have Barcola too. They have
crazy.
Barcola too, who's really
Yeah,
good.
Bacola as well. Chouameni, Saliba, Upamecano, Manyang, Kunde, like it starts up and down the roster.
They're missing my goat Olivier Giroud, but yeah, I hope they lose because of that.
Yeah, he was also usually like their main
He
guy.
was their like link up player.
I mean, Spain's team is not that far behind. To
Yeah,
be,
like they have probably the best. Them and Portugal have the best midfields.
yeah,
You have in Spain Pedri, Rodri, and
Ruiz,
Olmo. Yeah, and also
Ruiz.
in
They also
yeah, Fabian. Yeah,
and their attackers like Yamal, Nico, they were amazing last in the Euros. They were really good.
Williams was insane in the Euro.
Yeah, you like that.
But here against that form, the World Cup is cooked. And also, and Portugal is a great team as well. They have Vitinha, who in my opinion is the best player in the world right now, and Joao Neves. They have Bernardo Silva, who just signed with Real Madrid, by the way.
Bruno Fernandes as well, who was the best player in the Premier League this season.
Allegedly.
He won Premier League Player of the Season is what I want.
Yeah. He won it. He played well this year. I'm not like throwing shade, but he's been one of my least favorite players in the world for years. But this year he won me. So yeah.
You know who I always loved from Portugal? I always loved Pedro Neto, even when he was playing for Wolves.
Yeah,
He's nice.
the ball is so glued to his foot. He doesn't lose the ball easily.
So
He's so
small.
fast. Yeah,
Like
he's like he plays football in the way that Dylan Harper plays basketball.
I love it. Leao's obviously amazing. I think their issue is always like since Ronaldo got old, that they always revolve way too much around Ronaldo, and they've been afraid to take him out.
That's the issue, though. I think their issue is they tried to move past him too early, and it kicked them in the back, and now they cannot move past him when it's time to move past him. If they didn't bench him in the 2022 World Cup, he would have probably not been on this World Cup. But the fact that they benched him and lost is why he's so important this World Cup, even though he's clearly declined, and it's probably best not to play him.
I mean,
But
I think
they tried to move on way too early, I think, and now they cannot move on, even though it's too late. It's like, yeah,
I do think a team that's often slept on because they always disappoint, like always, is England, and they do have a pretty good squad as well. Like, and also like their whole attacking squad is like all on form, with Saka, Rashford, Kane has all been on form this season.
wait, is Saka playing?
He's listed as the starting right wing, from what I could see.
Okay, but the fact that they did not take Cole Palmer is disappointing.
Yeah, from Chelsea. I mean, they also have Anthony Gordon, who is also like a potential guy that could play the right wing. Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, that's two of the best midfielders in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's England,
somehow still starting for them in goal.
If the Knicks win the championship and the England win the World Cup in the same year, our comparison would be so on point.
Yes, for sure. Oh yeah, Gonzalo Ramos plays for Portugal. Yeah, put him in instead of the old guy.
He's not that good, bro. Gonzalo Ramos is not that good.
Yeah, but like the old guy.
They could have used like Joao Felix as a false nine with Leao running and Pedro Neto, like they are two runners. But no, if you're using like a 9, a stereotypical 9, then it's Ronaldo. They don't have a striker. They don't have a good striker.
They might do that. They might actually do that with Felix, just like a change up. Oh, Guedes.
Yeah.
I don't know Guedes. Guedes is nice.
That could work, but not like Gonzalo Ramos for Ronaldo. Like just a 9 for a 9. That's not really a good idea. He's not better. Even now, I don't think he's better than Ronaldo.
Yeah. I mean,
because you have the control already. You have all of these midfielders who can control the play. You just need a finisher or like a creator, like an aggressive creator or an aggressive finisher. Gonzalo Ramos is not that guy. So Ronaldo is their best striker still.
So what are some of the group matches that you are looking forward to?
I mean, Morocco versus Brazil for sure.
Yeah.
Egypt versus Belgium, because I want to see what we're gonna look like, even though I'm very like pessimistic. Who else? The group with there's the group of death, the one with Senegal.
Senegal, France could be a good one.
Yeah, Senegal and France.
Oh yeah, that's the France Norway. When we get to that, is going to be one.
Yeah, that group is crazy. I think the winner of the World Cup is from that group. It's one of those 3 teams. But yeah, I really
I do look forward to Iran's first match just because of the whole politics of it.
They're so like cooking them, but like, bro, like it's not even just that they're not allowed to stay in the US. They're putting their games on, like they're staying in Mexico, not in Canada, and their games are in the far north of the US. They are cooked.
You're not allowed to stay in the US?
They're not allowed to stay in the US, and they'll travel all the way from Mexico to New York to play. That's crazy. And Seattle too. Both Seattle and New York are in the far north of the US. So the fact that they're playing in the far north while staying in Mexico, not even in Canada, is... And by the way, they're only allowed to be in the US for the 24 hours of the match. So they cannot even stay the night before or the night after. They have to travel before and after the match. So Iran is in a very
I
tough.
swear, FIFA is the worst organization in the fucking world. Like, dude, what is this?
They couldn't even compromise and put their games in one of the two other countries. Like, what is the point of having three countries hosting if you cannot solve an issue like this? Literally. Like, you have three countries hosting and you couldn't do that compromise? That's terrible. That to me is the worst part of the organizing of this World Cup, because it's not the Iranian players' fault that the US decided to start a war with them. And now you have them, despite the fact that we have two other countries, they are
Donald
forced.
Trump said Donald Trump really said that Iran was welcome to participate in the World Cup, but that he did not believe it was appropriate for Iran's team to be in the United States for their own life and safety. Are you kidding me?
He did say that he's directly
What?
threatening them, and FIFA didn't even move their games outside the US.
Dude, this organization sucks.
Yep, that's true.
Oh my
I mean, they didn't even like, they're still banning Russia, but they did not ban Israel. Israel could have made this World Cup, despite being in like 5 active wars at the same time. All of them are offensive wars.
Yeah,
That's
we're not doing this again. We're not doing this
yeah.
again.
Like, I'm just this is crazy. Yeah, like that's FIFA. That's FIFA for you. I just what else on the group stage other than the Norway, France group, Senegal. Senegal
England.
could be a good surprise as well. If
So
they
yeah,
get
Norway versus Senegal is in 10 days. England, Croatia. England, Croatia is on Wednesday, and it's actually like not that bad of a time for Europeans. So I'll probably no, yeah, but when I get home for practice, I'll probably watch that England, Croatia game on Wednesday. They play at like 10 European time, 10 p.m. So that's not too bad.
That's good. Yeah, the 10 p.m. games, I'm gonna watch them.
Here's my one gripe about this World Cup: is the best thing about the World Cup is that it's always like on during the day. I feel like even when it was in Brazil, it was not even that late.
Yeah.
So whenever they usually do World Cups, like they play at like 12 a.m., like right in the middle of the day. And then they have another game at 3, and then one at 6, and then you're done with your day, and you get to watch the World Cup for the whole day. Like, it's awesome. It's great. We get football for the whole day, and if you're a student like me, you don't have anything to do during the day, so you're basically just sitting there watching the World Cup.
Yeah.
So I feel like with them doing it like this, where it just becomes the American time zone, I think that really hurts the World Cup experience for Europeans.
It's mainly North America, not just the US. I mean, Mexico's World Cup, my dad told, because Mexico hosted 2 World Cups before, and my dad says it was the same. Like, it was
at least the final is on at like 9 in the evening. That's not too bad.
Brazil, yeah, but I'm saying the Mexico World Cups were also in the AM always, like 2 a.m., 4 a.m. When they were in Mexico. I don't remember the years, but they hosted it twice. So yeah, that's been the case with the North America World Cup in the back. In America as well, when they hosted it in 1994, it was the same. The Maradona controversy World Cup.
I mean, you could start some of these games at like 12, 11 a.m. They do start some of these games at 12 a.m. Like Czech, South Africa is on 11 a.m. So at 12 a.m. like US time. So it's fine. I understand why they're not starting them at like 8 a.m. Like, I get that. But
yeah,
it takes away from some of the experience that these games are so late.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the same also, I think, when it's in Europe. Probably that side of the world struggles to watch. I think maybe that's why the US doesn't like soccer. I think that's a reason that no one talks about. The fact that the best soccer in the world is played in a different time zone. they they cannot watch it in
But
their
here's
regular.
the thing, if a game is on like in Europe at 6 p.m., so 18:00, that's like 12:00 in like New York, and it's like 10:00 in, so 10 a.m. in like the West Coast ish. So yeah, I get that you have work and all. You can still, like, in the weekends you can certainly watch, like in the morning. You can
Who
watch.
wakes up at 10 in the weekend to watch? I don't think they. Only you have to be very passionate about it to do it. Like
But
it's
like
one of
10
those.
a.m. is not that bad. Like you're up anyway. Like what are you doing in the weekend? You're just chilling. You just put the game on. Like
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure some people do that. But yeah, I mean the group stage is pretty bad this year because of the amount of teams. You have
yeah,
Haiti.
that's fucking
I mean,
sucks.
you have Haiti and Curacao, bro. I didn't even know Curacao existed, and I was supposed to be a geography
First
geek.
out Germany is probably gonna like. Is that gonna be in like an 8? What's the line for that? Let me see actually. Like
I didn't even know that country existed, to be honest. There was also like the qualifiers. There was North Caledonia. I didn't know a country called North Caledonia existed. So there was that. Um,
that's actually insane. But like, yeah, I digress. I think, yeah, my favorites are Spain and France. I think France have the best roster. I think Spain has the second best. I think England could surprise people because they're people are so down on them, but they actually do have a really good team. And I think Thomas Tuchel is pretty good for especially this because he's like a one tournament kind of guy. It's not for long, but it's for good.
yeah, that's true. But I don't want them to win, to be honest.
No,
It's
fuck,
always fun
fuck
to
the
see them
Blues.
lose. It's always
Yeah.
so fun to see England lose. It's
I think Argentina could be really good. I think it depends on how good Messi is now, which could be.
never count him out. That's
I'm
my
never gonna count Messi out. That's just not gonna
yeah.
happen.
Yeah. And Ronaldo too. Even though Ronaldo has not been good in any World Cup, I'm not counting him out because some players are just super hungry all the time. You don't know what they're gonna do. But Messi specifically because he can do a lot. He can just start like suddenly and like explode. One touch from him is enough to finish a match. Is what I'm saying. So there is that. But yeah, the group stage is gonna suck. And I think after the group stage is when all the fun is gonna start. I hope that we don't see some terrible upsets in the group stage though, because the surprises are gonna be lame. If a team has a bad game and we see like Haiti in the round of 32, and
And this
then
round of 32 as well.
there is an extra round. Maybe they did it so that Messi can catch Close's record. Who knows? Uh,
I mean, the thing is, Mbappe is probably gonna be the one to catch closest record most likely. He's like one goal behind Messi.
Yeah, and but players you don't know how long they're gonna last. I mean, the Brazilian Ronaldo scored 14 goals in 2 tournaments and then he disappeared.
I mean, more. I think Mbappe is gonna catch him this year. Was my point. I feel like it's very likely that Mbappe scores one more goal than Messi this World Cup, and then he would be on the same as Messi.
For sure.
I
There's
so yeah, I
I
think
don't think
even
Holland is gonna score 7 goals this tournament and win the World Cup.
also because there's so many shitty teams. So if you really want to just stat pad, you can really do it against these terrible teams.
That's
To
what
be
I'm
fair,
saying. They have an extra game and they have bad teams.
no, the
So
only team Norway plays is Iraq. That's a bad team. They play Senegal, France, and the other two, which
I mean Iraq is probably better than Haiti. Like I mean there are
I hope
teams
they.
that are just like they would have never been seen in this context. Iraq has at least made some World Cups before. So like they're a team that, and I also heard they're better now than in the past. I'm not sure. I didn't watch them, but I hear they're not that bad, but I'm not sure about it. Maybe they are.
Am I really
Uh,
supposed to care about Qatar playing Switzerland? Is that really
that's
like that's the only game I can watch today? Because the other two are like wait till late and I have a game tomorrow. But like
you can't watch the Morocco versus Brazil game.
it's at midnight and I have a game tomorrow, so no.
Oh God. So you have to watch Switzerland. That sucks.
I just
I don't
want to
even
get
know
I just
why
want to get in the
Qatar.
World Cup like vibe.
How did
That's
Qatar even make it to the World Cup?
just there's a million teams. Okay, we're like shitting on this World Cup way too much. I do think it's gonna be fun when we kind of get into it.
Yeah, it's always the World Cup is always fun in a way. I think the one I didn't like was the 2014 one because of the injuries.
Yeah.
Before the World Cup 2014, like almost every team had major injuries. It was like the playoffs in the last few years.
It was still super fun though. Like 22 was fucking amazing. Oh my god.
That
The
was
people
yeah,
thought that was gonna suck, and it oh my goodness, that was probably the best one. Like
it was so
the
good.
final
And
alone was better than any other World Cup. So
the final was so good, but I was so mad at Qatar because it's an Arab World Cup, right? And so we thought the time of the matches will be perfect because it's close to home and stuff. They made the final on an Arab weekday at 5 p.m. I was so pissed because I couldn't watch it. I actually had work. I watched it at work while working. Like I was actively working and watching while working. And it was so good. The game was so good. I was like, dude, just like why
I
are
was
you even I had customers and I'm like, why are you calling right now? Why are you not watching the World Cup final?
what else could you be doing right now than watching the World Cup finals? Like,
That's crazy. I was so pissed. Like
that's the
I
other
was
thing. The
I
whole
was teaching. I was like, yo, like the parents can even give their kids a day off for the
the
final.
whole
Like,
thing of like the whole world just stopping for 2 hours to watch a soccer game. I do love that.
my point
That's
is, it could have been 2 hours later. Like, why 5 p.m. in Qatar? That's a terrible time to start on a
and
week.
they're just trying to average it out. Do you guys have different weekdays than we do?
Yeah, because Friday and Saturday in the Arab world, it's Friday and Saturday. That's the weekend. Sunday is the start of the weekday. That's
Ah,
why it was on Sunday at 5 p.m. Like Sunday at night, that would be fine. Like 7 p.m., 8
usually
p.m.
it's always Sunday.
But 5 p.m. No, now it has to be Saturday because Friday is not a weekday. It's not a weekend for the rest of the world. It's exclusive to us. So Saturday is the perfect day for a final because it's a weekend all over the world. And yet they did it on Sunday and they did it early. So I was so angry at that time because I still had work, and so I worked for the first half. That was my only gripe with the 2022 World Cup.
Yeah,
So
I think
yeah,
I
that's
think that's probably it. I don't. I'm just looking at the groups. Are there any? There's like, oh yeah, I feel like as some people call your group like the opposite of a group of death because it's like it sucks so much.
the Egypt group.
Yeah, the Belgium,
Why
Egypt.
though? At least we have Belgium.
Yeah, but Belgium isn't even that good anymore.
I mean, the group that is the first group is probably the worst. They have
Yeah, but at least all four of them are like kind of. Nah, okay, I'm not gonna say this.
South Africa's not.
South Africa sucks. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Czech.
the
I watched the Czech obviously because they beat us, so you know. But like, I feel like they're pretty decent. They're a hard playing team.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask: is Christian Eriksen okay? I heard he collapsed again.
No, what it was, it is just like his pacemaker kind of gave him like there was an irregularity in his heart, and the pacemaker just fixed it. So I think people overdid it. Like, yeah, every time that happens, you're gonna be a little extra cautious, but it's probably fine. But
Yeah, but they canceled the game, so I thought it was like serious. And then I heard it
that's
wasn't.
because what happened last time where everyone thought he died.
Yeah, I also heard that his condition.
That's 5 years ago, by the way, from yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, that was the same. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I also heard this condition. It doesn't matter if he plays or not. It's like something that could happen anywhere at any time,
yeah.
and it has nothing to do with him playing. Because some people were saying he should retire. I mean, he will retire soon anyway. He's old, but like some people, like I heard, it has nothing to do with him still playing. But fucking
That's what I'm hearing as well.
yeah. Let's hope he's okay. And yeah, that was. I'm so mad that Italy and Denmark are not in the World Cup, but we have Haiti to watch. And
Dude, imagine we had Denmark instead of Haiti and Italy instead of, I don't know, Iran.
Bahrain is in the World Cup.
Iran.
Iran. Okay, I mean
I don't know.
Iran is a good team, but the issues going
They
on.
just
Yeah,
fucked over because of the whole Jordan. Yeah, we could have
Jordan.
Italy instead of Jordan.
Yeah,
The,
Jordan
the Democratic Republic of Congo. Like, there's like 15 teams here. I would rather have Uzbekistan. What is Uzbekistan doing here? Correct.
They're also Uzbekistan is it's Asia or Europe, or it's Asia, right? Yeah, Asia, because
Yeah,
they're very close to Europe.
Yeah, it's
They're,
like in the whole Azerbaijan, Russia region. Curacao. Why do we have Curacao here and not fucking?
that's the team I'm talking about. Why do they have three teams
Cape
from
Verde?
what?
Cape Verde. Oh, they have
No,
the guy.
Cape Verde is not bad. Cape Verde is not bad. They were doing good in the AFCON. They're a recent like team that's doing well in the recent years only. They were not known before, but they're doing well. The thing is, Curacao. The reason I'm mad about Curacao specifically is because now you have three teams from Australia, from that continent. New Zealand and Curacao are both making it with Australia. So that's weird. Like, why? That continent should only have one team, even if
20 million
like
people in the continent.
what?
There's like 20 million people in that whole continent. And all
Yeah,
of them
it's crazy to have three countries from that continent.
I'm gonna say it again. This organization fucking sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's move on. That's not fun.
I don't think there's anything more to say about this. I actually look forward. I'm hyped on the World Cup now. I'll just watch the group stage, see how good the teams are. Someone's gonna disappoint and miss out because they lost to Haiti or whatever. So that's gonna be fun. And some team is gonna surprise. Maybe it's Norway, and then I could be a little like root for my brothers up there. So I don't have anything more. Let's get back. We can maybe do it during the week. I have some time Tuesday. Oh,
Tuesday, we'll see. I'll see if I could do it. Please do it. Just tell me before it, and
yeah, we'll figure it out. Just talk a little bit about this World Cup. I'll get into some of the games.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good one, Amir.
Have a good one, and this was Unethical Hoops, and sponsored by absolutely nobody. And see you next time.